Alright, so it is news night on the JP side, and we got some news this week. It is basically the last update till June 30th when we will finally get into the month of July. And already, I'm thinking that July, I think that we're going to see actually kind of a repeat of last year. I do believe, if I remember correctly, that into the month of July we had beach units, so possibly another 2 beach units, and then we're going to get into August where we're probably going to see a repeat collaboration. But I think July is going to be pretty straightforward with beach units, so let's see what we are getting for the last week in the month of June. Alright, so the 6th month is coming to an end, and a couple of things. First of all, we're going to see the return of a couple of quests, which is a good opportunity for some maybe newer players to end up getting a free unit. So Chryse is coming back. She is going to be available as she was previously, and coming with her are also the EX quests. Once again, for one of the few guns in the game, as well as the Lohengrin, which is a great magic sword for anyone who hasn't got it previously. So a couple of good things to potentially get if you haven't done it, and if you have done it already, well, I guess it's an easy pass. We also have, alright, EX for a couple of new characters. As you can see, the 3 that you basically see right here, and this is also to do with Chryse coming back, so you're going to have a chance of getting her to EX as well. Should be one of the easier EXable units, but she's not alone. Reviz as well as Glassy are going to be getting their EXs, which is pretty good. I'm pretty much just snap ready to just bam right away get Glassy up to job level 25, and Reviz, I think I can maybe, if she's interesting. I'm a little bit curious about how well she will actually do, but Chryse as well should be a pretty, there should be some EXable stuff this week that should be kind of fun to test out. And I do think that actually for a little bit of an update, I think that Victoria is doing pretty good in PvP with some of her status effect stuff. So good for her. It's nice to see, especially because I snapped her up to job level 25 as well. Woo. Getting on though, we have the selection quest for the dark element being added to the JP side. Now, some people were predicting that this was going to be the red-headed samurai girl from OS, and that is not the case. We are seeing one of the more recent units from the JP side story, which also featured Lelouch, who is one of the more, or Lelouch? No, it's Lelouch. Anyway, from the more recent side stories. So this one, you're going to need lower than you are dark, or lower tier than you are dark elemental characters to end up doing this one. And taking a look right here, you can see some of the ones on display. Little Leela is going to be coming along. Gaff will, from the Final Fantasy Tactics event, will be a good one for this, as well as Raryu, who's gotten his EX. Titus and Shadow Lynx are all available, and I think that there is some potential that this is going to be one that's going to be seen maybe a little bit more on the JP side. I haven't seen a ton of Verns in any piece of content lately, but this unit, maybe because Shadow Lynx was pretty common during the early days as an early recommendation. Little Leela's kind of popular. Raryu's got his own little fan base, and Titus is kind of cool. So maybe this one is one that quite a few more players will invest in. I'll definitely be interested in trying it out and see as far as I can get it. Though, again, lower tier units I have not developed as much, so this still might be kind of difficult. And speaking of, let's talk about our brand new character. As you can see from the artwork, he is very clearly a spear user. Haha, and there's my joke for the video. Moving on, so obviously we can see that his primary job is fighter. So a new fist user enters the fray, and a UR tier fist user as well. Taking a look at his secondary job, a katana based one is specifically, just blanked on it for a second. Samurai, I don't know why. And double gunner, so an interesting mix, all physical based attack jobs, which is, good for and very clear of a specific direction that this unit will be going. Taking a look also, I mean, Samurai, maybe this unit will be just a good little brave buffer as well for people who may not have that. If you need to raise your brave to max, this guy might be able to do it quite easily. With the Samurai's ability, which is always useful, and having gunner abilities is never a bad thing per se. Although with the new Jaden around who is resistant to gun abilities, he might fall a little bit flat in a gun battle, but Fist and Strike, I should say, is a really interesting damage type, because again, it's one of those lesser known ones, and Tifa was fairly pretty good. I mean, she was fairly pretty good. Her damage didn't go as crazy as someone like Cloud's, but this is a Fist-based user in the Dark element, and that might be a pretty big push for the amount of damage that a Fist user could potentially do. I'm very interested to see how this unit will end up shaping up. As you can see, the one ability that is shown off here is a attack-based ability with medium damage, but also human killer on it, which is pretty notable. I mean, it is potentially a really good... oh yeah, I haven't said his name yet. Lameiga. Anyway, that's our new unit. I think he might be translated to Lameiga on global, but we'll kind of wait and see if that is how that shapes out. But one more thing, of course he has a master ability, which is, interestingly, evasion rate up. Alright, now I'm a little more nervous for this character. His human killer, he has a more unique damage type. Obviously, we're still missing a really strong strike Esper, as well as some more strike vision cards, but maybe there is an interesting Fist-based party shaping up. If you ended up getting Tifa and you end up having 2B, maybe you can just put this character in also with Tifa's TMR and her vision card, as well as just a dark based vision. Maybe there's a good strike based team that's really coming here. You're gonna have to invest a fair bit to end up finishing his selection quest, but I'm interested. It really will depend on what his stats look like and whether or not he has any support for evasion, but this also might give Tifa a little bit of a boost too. So this is a good notable thing for the JP side, but a very notable thing for the global side for anyone who is interested in Tifa, evasion, and strike. Now, continuing on, speaking of a little bit disappointing, specifically to deal with a evasion-based character in the dark element, which always makes me a little nervous. We have a brand new vision card on the JP side this week, and disappointing only in the fact that it is not a Esper-based card. I was really, kind of hoping that we would end up seeing some kind of Esper-based card, and that's just not happening. So what are we looking at? Well, thankfully, this is a pretty damn good vision card. Party ability for water attack units, Man Eater up on physical attack, as well as aim up. Max ability will give single target resistance up, as well as for the not the beneficial, what is it? The bestowed effect, as it's called on global side. For my global viewers, solo will be for water units, magic resistance up, and attack up. So a very physical based water attack card. Obviously, with the card art, it's very obviously for a very specific unit, Grace, but this is good for any water physical units. I mean, this is good with Titus, this is good with Glassy, who's also getting her EX, and I'm sure there's someone else forgetting, but I'll talk about it more in the wrap-up. Next up, we have a challenge, this time against Golem, and we are going to be going for, what is it, the Tourmaline ring. Maybe this ring, it's a SSR quality piece of equipment. It'll be interesting to see what exactly this benefits. There's also a +3 version and a Paradise Deep Submarine that is... Oh, wait, no. That's just a weird translation. Sorry. Alright, forget that, moving on. And story will continue. Looks like we are continuing with the Hinder Nation, my favorite, so yay. So new chapter, and as always, the third part is always the more interesting bit because we get more lapis. So, you know, more story, more lapis. Sounds good to. So taking a look, what am I the most excited for this week? Well, I mean, water getting a boost for the physical side is kind of nice. I mean, really, it depends on how good your Titus is and how good your Glassy is, whether or not you'll be able to EX her. There's Xmas Victora and Xmas right in front of me, Ramada. So there is some good water elemental units that can get some pretty big bonuses out of a vision card with Maneater on it. I'm assuming that it will be probably in close proximity to the Laswell card in terms of its capability and how much strength it's pushing on those units, just because it seems to be fairly similar. Yet water element can still be pretty well checked by the lightning element too, but still that new vision card might be just good enough to actually pull for if you are interested in water units at all. Just given that, you know, it is a pretty big boost, I think. And other than that, you know, I'm excited for the EXs, for the selection quest and the story, and, you know, Golem as well. Seems like it'll be another pretty easy week, which, again, rolling into another month of limiteds. The month of June has been pretty damn quiet after Final Fantasy VII ended. Obviously, with two story-based characters, or, you know, story/side story characters that were very limited, it's been pretty easy to kind of just post, and that's the, in my opinion, that's been kind of the feeling on the JP side. It feels like everything has been way more relaxed. People have been, you know, taking it easy. Actually, guilds feel a little bit more, maybe a little bit more empty after FF7 ended. So, you know, and that's fine because July with beach units might be a little bit more of a spike, and I assume that August is going to be another collaboration, but another repeat collaboration. Could be FF4, could be Tactics. Hopefully, kind of hoping for Tactics more. No offense, FF4 fans. It's just, that one's been gone longer, so let's have that. Anyway, so that's all for this video. Hopefully you are interested, and a global video coming up shortly. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next video.